What is up, everyone? Manic Media Dream here, and I've got a really special video for you today. But before we get into it, chat, did we just have a production upgrade? Low-key, because honestly this location rocks and I'm trying to see if I can use it for future videos. But yeah, let me know what y'all think of this. The lighting is killer though. That skincare routine, literally just light on my skin. That's all it is, because god damn, I gotta work on my lighting. We are going to be unboxing the Smallville Complete Series box set because I freaking love this show, and I think the timing also just works out perfectly because the new Superman movie is out. If y'all haven't seen my short, go check it out. Kind of go over why you should be watching the Superman movie. I also talk about how I'm absolutely obsessed with Smallville because it's just a fantastic show. I'm not the biggest Superman fan, I'm gonna be completely honest, but I am flexing the Superman colors in this video because why not? And it's literally like Clark's, I'm pretty sure Clark at some point in the show has worn a blue shirt with a red hoodie, even though this is my Euphoria hoodie for Rue, but anyway, you gotta. So before we had the Man of Steel, the Zack Snyder Man of Steel, and before we had the Superman the Superman that came out in 2025, and I think even before we had the Brandon Routh Superman, which I also haven't seen, again, not a Superman fan, we had Tom Welling as Superman, except it wasn't really him as Superman, it was more him as Clark Kent, and it was Clark Kent's journey to becoming Superman, and basically once he becomes Superman, the show ends. This is 10 seasons worth of some of the most creative writing I've ever seen. Some incredible shots, incredible acting that actually improves season over season. It takes place at the Kent farm in Smallville, which is where Superman landed. Essentially, if you watch the new Superman movie, you can basically treat this as a soft prequel. For the most part, everything kind of maybe not for the most part, but the idea of it you can treat definitely as a prequel, because this show is probably the closest that we've come to the type of serious but goofy balance that the new Superman movie has. I don't think any of the previous Superman movies have had that to the extent that Smallville and Superman 2025 have. So I would honestly categorize them under the same type, same genre. Just because of how similar they are in terms of the humor, really just embracing the silliness of it, but also, really talking about morality, ethics, all that fun stuff. So yeah, let's get into the DVD unboxing. I'm just going to pick this up. So this is actually mad heavy. I don't know how heavy it is actually. It's probably 8 pounds or something like that. They did not cheap out on the material for this whatsoever. This is really thick cardboard, and it feels it just has a nice shine to it. It feels really good. But if you're a super fan, you should most likely look into getting this box set. I believe there's a Blu-ray version that looks similar to this. I'm not entirely sure, don't quote me on that. I ended up watching the entire show on DVD, and specifically this DVD box set, the whole thing I've actually been through. Just get into the unboxing. So this is where you have the different DVD booklets. So you have, they basically divided it into 2 parts, where the first part is largely focused on the younger years, and then the second half of the show is focused on the older years of Clark Kent. And I'm actually really glad that they divided it in that manner, just because it flows well with the show. I love it when things are synchronous like that, where you have the show going in a certain direction, but then in the packaging they kind of take that into consideration. I'm probably giving them way more credit than necessary because it's a 10-season show. Of course you're going to divide it by 5 and 5, but yeah, it just it worked out for the best. So I'll put this aside for now. We'll circle back to that for sure. And then here you have seasons 1 to 5, and this is basically the cast that you have for the most part for seasons 1 to 5. And it's sort of a picture book format, which I really like. And like I said, it's just really good quality, holy heck. And then you have sort of this, wait, let me just move that. So you have this over here. They kind of went with the Jesus imagery over here, where Clark is supposed to be seen as a savior. And then, like, honestly, the shots, the effects, everything for this show was just done really, really well. One thing that I'm not the biggest fan of is that they have these, like, cardboard slide out type inserts for discs. So it can be, like, potentially damaging to your discs. But they kind of keep them really, really secure, which I like. But for the most part, like, I've seen all of these. Those aren't even scratches. Oh, hello. Those aren't even scratches. Those are just like dust particles. But yeah, they keep your discs mad secure, and you kind of just like push it back in and it's good to go. But I know some people who have complained about like cardboard cases basically like scratching their discs. I think as long as you're careful with it, and as long as this isn't stored anywhere that's too hot, your box set should be fine and it should survive. Because usually when it's too hot, the glue inside ends up getting on the discs. So just something to be careful about. I do keep these in like a room temp, like a temperature controlled area. Yeah, here we go. Here we have Tom Welling, and he's basically everything that I wanted to be growing up, and it was because of this show. Journey that they take Clark through this thing, it's not only good entertainment, but it's a really good, like, it's a crash course, essentially, depending on how quickly you can get through the entire show, on, like, morality, ethics, doing the right thing, being kind, which, again, to anyone who's seen Superman 2025, I'm sure you can completely relate. They really, like, this is all about Superman and not about Superman, if that makes sense. So it's really about the man behind the super aspect of it, and gets more in touch with Superman's human side, while also showcasing the extent to which he could go to be God. And when he chooses not to, and why he chooses not to. Michael Rosenbaum, I'm pretty sure. And then we have Kristin Kreuk, of course, Canadian icon. And then here's Clark again, and we don't really talk about her. But loved her character, though. And yeah, oh my god, here we have Pete. This character had so much potential. And that's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to spoil this for anybody who hasn't seen the show. But, like, I mean, you can even tell, like, the pictures that they're using for this, like, some of these are literally clips from the show, and you can just tell, like, the production quality is insane. Keep in mind, this aired on the WB network. Like, those guys were not rolling in cash in any sense of the word, but they really went all out for this show because they believed that it had legs. Yeah, you got season 3, and yeah, you'll just have like the discs, and there's 6 discs per season, and they normally have like 4 episodes. So let me just take that one out. There you go. So they kind of look like that. I don't know if the individual box sets have the discs looking different, but the WB normally does their like box sets like that, so it's possible, just for like that exclusivity feel. Here we go. Season 4 is literally so much fun. Yeah, season 4 is great. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I don't know to what extent. Well, you know what? This show has been off the air for quite some time, so I'm not gonna miss out on not talking about like some of the cooler things. You got like Dean from Supernatural in here. You got you got Lois Lane. So yeah, something to look forward to. Like if you haven't seen the show, now you have somewhat. Don't look at that. Don't look at that. And yeah, then you have, oh man, there's like visions in this show, and they're so spooky, but yeah, he knocked it out of the park. Like, as Lex Luthor, like the Lex Luthor in the Superman 2025 was good, but this man just really captured the nuance of Lex Luthor, and like the Lex Luthor in the movie is like terrifying. This guy is dread-inducing. Definitely, like, I wish the show had won Emmys for acting, because I feel like he definitely would have gotten nominated. Like, this man knew what was up. Like, he was like, rent is due, I gotta get this done. After that, actually, he was like, no, my mortgage is due for like a $2 million mansion in California, or a $2 million like 2-bedroom house in Toronto. Yeah, the bar is low. The bar is in hell, actually, but we'll get into the real estate market later. Moving on, we have seasons 6 to 10, and the show kind of takes more of an adult feel here, because originally the show creators had intended for the show to end in season 5, but it was incredibly popular. It was making a lot of money. It was keeping everybody and their grandmother employed. So there was no way that they were going to just take it off the air. And I think they actually did a really good job of segueing to the adult years for Superman really well with this. I mean, I'm pretty sure one of my favorite seasons, or at least two of my favorite seasons, are in the second half of Superman, or the second half of Smallville. But yeah, like at no point did I think, oh my god, this show is so boring. The way they adapted like the big bads throughout the seasons, the way that each episode could like connect to the overall story but also just be a standalone like movie, it was incredible. And I feel like shows did a really good job of that. Like Charmed does a really good job of that. Buffy does a really good job of that. Angel does a really good job of that. And shows these days just don't have that balance to be two things at the same time. But yeah, if you're a showrunner or you're getting into like script writing or anything like that, that's definitely something to look into. I don't even remember the circumstances for this episode, but he is absolutely slaying, serving, eating the crap out of that look. What a king. Yeah, here you have sort of like the Justice League thing going on that they had like a version of in the TV show. You got that dude from This Is Us. You got that dude from Veronica Mars and a bunch of horror movies. You got Tom Welling. You got the dude from Jack Reacher. You got, oh my goodness, actually, rest in peace. Yeah, this was hard news to deal with, but the actor unfortunately did pass away. As we continue, you can kind of see it follows the same format of, each of the discs up there. You have shots of the cast, whether they're doing a photo shoot or whether it's scenes from the actual TV show itself. And when you're watching this, so I went through this booklet. I didn't know too much about the show, so I experienced these images while going through the individual episodes, and sometimes it was spoilery, sometimes it wasn't. So like, for example, I didn't know who this person was, but this person does appear in Superman 2025, and I'm so excited for the movie that will eventually follow, which is a Supergirl movie, because that's exactly who she is. And when she came into the show, it was pretty cool. And I feel like whenever they like tackle Supergirl, they do such a good job, and I can't wait to see her shine, because she was great in season 7. And also a Canadian icon. Yeah. Oh, and just a heads up, they filmed this entire show in Vancouver, so I think that's why there were so many Canadians involved in the show. Oh my god, we have Spike from Buffy up in here. I love it when they have these kinds of crossovers. And it's not really a crossover, it's literally just like the actors, but it just makes those universes feel so connected, and he absolutely killed his role. Everybody, acting-wise, like people will have a lot of things to say. Acting wise, the show is great. You grow with the show, and you're like, wow, everyone's like really putting in 183%. You have this dude from, actually, I don't think he's from X-Men. His twin is an X-Men. I think he's from Veronica Mars. You have this dude in here. You have that dude from Being Human in here. They just had a killer cast, and somehow they were able to like sustain a reasonable budget even when they were in season 9. He just kills every look, like every single look, absolute slay. I think this was in like when they were in their Batman era. You can kind of see that with the background. But the show initially was supposed to be about Batman before he became Batman, and it just worked better with Superman before he became Superman. And I'm so glad they went that direction, because I mean, they tried Batman before he became Batman with Gotham, and that only lasted 5 seasons. Because there's only so much dread you can tolerate. This show is like a lot more upbeat. Like it still has some really, like, you will be crying in the show. Like, don't doubt that at all. But they just have a really good balance, and they're able to do that balance because Superman is, he's kind of like trauma that's sugar coated, whereas Batman is just trauma with trauma topping. And that can be a lot for some people, especially for like the general viewer who's just trying to watch a show during prime time in the early 2000s, trying to forget about whatever issues they had back then. It's like you want something more wish fulfillment-y. You don't want just dread and depression. Yeah, that's not gonna, and that wouldn't feel like a Superman show. And yeah, that is, oh, and then you have bonus discs as well. I'll kind of show you the last disc here, just because they are a bit difficult to take out. But yeah, going through this, none of the discs had any playback issues, so if that makes anybody feel better, I hope it does. So you got Superman in there, and then there's just like this little area you have to push past, and then they kind of just like slide in, And the bonus disc, I don't even remember if I went through the bonus discs, but that's actually something I hella should consider, because why not? This, I feel like, really captures the adult years so well. You have Clark Kent, and then you have his alter ego as Superman. What an icon, what a king. Yeah. And then that is that for this box set. Again, I don't know what the Blu-ray looks like. If somebody has the Blu-ray, please let me know if it's similar to this and it just has Blu-ray discs in it, or if it's like a completely different approach to the super awesome TV show. So I stuck this to the back of this like pamphlet folder thing that you get. Yeah, so this comes attached to the back of this box, but I always try to save these because otherwise they're going to get bent and completely out of shape. But, you know, it kind of goes over like, oh, wait, what the hell? They are Emmy winning. Oh, but they probably won for like production and stuff like that, which totally fair because for a primetime TV show on like a failing network, they did a fantastic job. It might as well have been the movies. Like, yeah, that I would say some of their effects for that time were better than what Marvel is able to do in this day and age. I don't care, argue with the toilet seat. And yeah, and that's not to say I don't like Marvel. There are some Marvel movies I enjoy quite a bit, but yeah, quality has not been their priority as of late. But who knows, that might change with Fantastic Four. So yeah, we got like a little bit of insight into what the show is about. You got, you know, this really cool, like, I feel like this is definitely targeted towards people who back in 2011 or post 2011 would see this box set at like a Best Buy or a Target or a Walmart, and this would kind of give them insight into what's inside the box. You have all this amazing, okay, I definitely have not seen the bonus discs because they're talking about Paley Fest, and I do not remember seeing anything about Paley Fest before for Smallville. So alors, I will figure that out. And yeah, so this, I kind of have it like, it comes with this like sticky glue thingamabob. You can kind of see it there. So I just stuck it to the back of this thing. And then you got Clark just chilling in his jersey on the surface. And then how do you open this? I think you open it from, ooh, nice. And the inside is really cool. They really went all out with this. So you got this Daily Planet newspaper. I think it's so cute, and it's just talking about like, you know, Superman saves the day, and you can kind of read this while going through the show. It's like a cute little. You got the Justice Society of America. I think there was a Stargirl show at some point. I think that's her name on the CW as well. But yeah, they'll just have like reference to different things. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And they'll like make reference to things that are either happening in the show or have happened in the show, or like allude to the future beyond the show. And the show does a really good job of that, of like telling us what to expect of what happens in the Smallville universe after the show. It's very good. The mythology of this show was just handled really, really well. Like, you could tell the people involved cared about Superman, cared about the fans. Oh my god, Zatanna! I actually totally forgot she was even in the show. But she's pretty cool. You got Supergirl there, you got Ma Kent there, and, you know, just to keep in touch with how newspapery it is, they got some comics in the back and like a crossword. Yeah, and it's like Superman related to, I would never write on this, like, as far as I'm concerned, this is memorabilia and must not be tampered with, but, you know, you do you. And yeah, you basically get a Daily Planet newspaper, and then you get kind of like an episode book to follow. You have no idea how popular this image was back in the day that just captured Smallville and Superman, and we're seeing this image on a DVD box set, and I was just like, yo, what is this Bad Butt show? But I was too young at the time. I was not allowed to watch this. Yeah, as an adult, I was able to watch it in its entirety. This is the suit that I believe they used for Superman Returns, but it was also the suit that they were using in the show, kind of. That's not really a spoiler, but yeah. Again, this show has been off the air for like upwards of a decade, so I do apologize for anyone who's coming across this and feel like I'm spoiling anything. Oh, you got like some green screen stuff there. Oh, I believe he directed. He looks so much like the new Superman here, David something or the other. But yeah, you got the cast, which is really cool. I still can't believe I just like crack up every now and then when I find out that he was on this show. And what was his name actually? Was his name also Dean on? No, it was Jason. It was Jason, I believe. But yeah, it's so funny to me that he was on this show, and then Jared Padalecki was on Gilmore Girls, and then post this show, they both got Supernatural. I don't know. I find it adorable for whatever reason. But yeah, so you got, they'll go over season 1. They'll go over what each disc has. These images will kind of keep you occupied, especially when you're doing your watch through. And yeah, it's just, I don't know, for me it really helps pull me into that world, and it's still something that I don't think streaming is ever going to be able to do, because with streaming I feel like you get distracted very easily, or at least I get distracted very easily, and it's kind of like background to me, whereas when I'm watching something on DVD, it's my only focus, and they give you these supplementary materials with it that heavily like pull you into that world, and then you just don't want to leave. You got these incredible production sketches, like look at that, is mad detailed. And keep in mind, they were not using an iPad for this. Like, I don't know what that kind of device they were using for this, but it was a lot of work went into this. Absolutely gorgeous. I freaking love that. Yeah, and then we have season 6 starting here, and then we keep going and going and going. This is such a cute photo. This is giving, what is it? The Adventures of, oh my God, I can't remember what the name of that show is. The one with Terry Hatcher, but that's basically what it's giving. But it's actually so cute. It's literally like, it's giving rom-com vibes, and it so very much reminds me of Superman 2025 with Mrs. Maisel and the dude from Pearl. These two had incredible chemistry. The fans loved them, and it's the same thing with the new Superman movie. Like they just did a really good job of capturing that chemistry, and it's just incredible to. I do not even remember this, but that is so freaking iconic. I love her. Holy crap. Okay, very cool. Oh yeah, and then you have Kal-El's parents over here. I feel like we've seen so many iterations of the parents, I can't even keep track. Like I think Bradley Cooper is like the new dad. It's nuts. More behind the scenes photos. You got some bonus disc info. I used to love this jacket. I wanted to buy this jacket. I was not able to buy this jacket, but that is a great jacket. And yeah. And so basically with the box set, you get this envelope, and then you get these photo albums with all the DVDs inside, and you'll have 62 discs. Like, I promise you will be busy for a fair amount of time. If you get started on this show, or if you're rewatching this show, it's wildly entertaining and you will not regret it. But yeah, that is my unboxing of the Smallville box set and its various materials, and I hope you enjoyed it. I know I enjoyed going through it because it's been a while since I went through this. It's actually been a while since I watched Smallville on DVD, because I think the last time that I did watch it was on Prime. It just happened to be on Prime. I'm like, yo, I love this show, and I think I probably watched up until season 3. I just can't. I think it most likely was in high definition, but honestly, with the DVDs, I couldn't even tell the difference, because I used to watch it on my laptop. So I watched the entire series on my laptop, and I was just blown away by how incredible everything was. So if you haven't seen this show, definitely check it out. If you have seen this show, give it a rewatch, because 1000% there is nothing else captivating on TV right now to the extent that Smallville is. Because keep in mind, even the really captivating shows, we're giving them too much grace. So like The White Lotus, Severance, etc. All of these shows like take a year, and then they only come out with like 8 episodes. These shows back to back were like 22 episodes, 23 episodes, 24 episodes, just like an insane amount of episodes that you would get, and they would only have like a few months off in between, and the quality of each of the episodes was so consistent, it was mind-blowing. So if you haven't gotten into these shows yet, I highly recommend it, because they just knocked it out of the park. Like, that's where I'm like, okay, the writing is good. It's like the people working towards this are really passionate about it. The network is really passionate about it. And yeah, you could just see that with a lot of the older shows where you want to get connected to the characters, you want to go through all the different story arcs. They will explore so much. I'm not even that familiar with the comics, but like they will take things from the comics and kind of put their own TV spin on it. So like, you know, you'll have characters like the Flash and how they handle it, and it's like, which version of the Flash? And they'll just be very creative about it on how they'll present that. So it's definitely something to look forward to. You have so many Easter eggs, you have so many like different directions in which they take the show, but that simultaneously also makes it like available in other versions of Superman because of the multiverse. And yeah, it's really interesting. But let me know what you thought of Smallville if you've seen it. Let me know if it's something you'll be adding to your watch list. And let me know if you have the Blu-ray box set. I beg of you. I want to know what the Blu-ray box set looks like. I also want to know if the Blu-ray box set is similar to this or if it was just released in like those digipack type things, because I, for the life of me, can't remember. People are always like, and not necessarily the people that follow me here, but like people that I know in real life will just be like, oh my God, you should post on Instagram. Why don't you post on Instagram? And this might be the motivating factor. So yeah, if you want to go follow me on Instagram, you can check that out here. I'm also on TikTok. You can check that out here. Yeah, I'll be doing some different videos on TikTok. I have a few plans for that. But yeah, let's see what we can get to, because I definitely want to be more engaged with you guys, especially now that there's so many of you. I didn't even realize like we're at 900 subscribers. That's absolutely insane to me. By all means, feel free to join the Manic Media Dream Team, because I'm just looking to meet more people who are interested in the things that I'm interested in and who are interested in retro things, but also like modern things and how modern things connect to retro things. And there's literally something for everybody on this channel. So if this is your first time watching, welcome. If you've been here for a long time, thank you so much for being here. And it's so nice to say hi to you again. So let's go through some formalities. Leave this video a like if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below on all the things that I mentioned before, or if you have any additional thoughts about the Superman universe, where the Superman franchise is going, and how you feel about Smallville and Clark Kent and Tom Welling specifically in this version of the story. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed and you want to keep coming back for more interesting videos, because I will be posting more. I'm not lying this time, I hope. And I will chat with y'all later. Have a good one. Bye.